So just now we're going to talk about the B flat bass tuba, or what's called the B flat contrabass tuba. The difference that this brings to playing as opposed to the E flat instrument. We'll have a look at a few things. We're going to have a look at a hymn tune just now from the hymn tunes for brass bands. We're going to play it on the B flat, play it on the E flat, see the difference in tone and the registers that they've got. And then we're going to have a little look at some of the faster playing that you're able to achieve on the B flat instrument and what makes that a little bit more difficult. So, in an orchestra, the B flat tuba will be called upon when the music starts to go a little bit low. For the E flat instrument, the lower notes in this instrument sound a lot better. The reverb across the orchestra a lot stronger than what the E flat does. So let's go from a B flat major scale down the way to sort of from the lower end of the register that I can get to just now, and we'll have a little listen to that. So anything below that is bottom E flat there. That's bottom B flat at the bottom. It's a big pedal B flat. It's real hard to get on an E flat bass, but this maintains its strength in there. So that's why I would use a contrabass instrument instead of a bass tuba. Sort of loses its, once you get above middle F, starts to sound like a normal instrument. So that's the sort of tone you get out of the instrument. It's a lot larger, there's a lot more air, but because there's a lot more air in it, when the whole thing's the big air column, we've spoke about the mechanics of this before. When you agitate that air column, you get these notes a little bit easier in the depth, but it becomes a little bit too heavy as you start to come back up to the mid-range of the instrument, and it sounds just like an E flat. So you might as well use an E flat for that range. So let's have a listen to the hymn tune. This is Glenn Vernon. On the B flat instrument, we'll have a listen to the tones on the E flat instrument. I think we'll just do that again. There was a few wrong notes in there, so let's have a little listen to. We'll do it from the second phrase here with the correct notes this time. So that gives you a little idea of that range of instruments. Probably the mid-register, it's going to sound like a little bit like a tuba. It's going to have a little bit more weight to it, which is what we've got there. Maybe pick one more. Let's do something a little bit lower set. There isn't really much to the cornet part. Let's do crowned. So that you can hear the lower notes are a lot richer than what they are on an E flat. would sound down an octave. You can hear the tone's really rich down there, really sustained, and it sits really well. Let's have a listen to the same sort of thing on an E flat. We'll play Blind Vernon through once, and we'll play Crimmins through once, and you can hear a little bit of a difference in the tones. So switching instrument, this is something that a lot of orchestral players do quite often. It's a little bit tricky when you first start doing it because you use the same mouthpiece. So unlike, I think on saxophones you have to change your mouthpieces. This now feels like a bit of a toy. But instruments are built in pitch, whether like a saxophone or like any other instrument that you have that's built in various pitches. One's a little bit smaller, the E flat instrument, B flat's a lot bigger, and you just get a different tone out of the two of them. So let's have a listen to Blind Vernon here. Double check that key signature. Let's now have a listen to, we'll do it down an octave, Crimmins as much as possible, and let you hear that lower register on this instrument and why would we use a B flat word down there. Let's have a listen to it down the octave now. It's a little bit difficult for me to sort of demonstrate as much, but because I'm used to playing E flat, used to playing two instruments, trying to get the same register at the lower ends as possible. But the B flat is much more suited to going down below the stave than what the E flat instrument is. But let's note you've got a brass band, tends to be a B flat on this instrument. Anything lower than that is sort of in the pedal register, and it is sometimes written. It's more common for the bass parts and wind bands and orchestras to be written well below that, but not as much in the brass band because you've got a B flat instrument. So that note there is actually the starting, would be a C on this instrument, it's G on this one. That's starting to get quite low, but that's the starting note really on that instrument to then be able to go down below. So it gives you that extra fourth in writing when you're composing. So let's have a look at something else. We're going to have a look at a piece that's written. This is B flat part, Olympiada by Samuel Hazel. It's a brass band arrangement, so just think of how the two instruments complement each other in the brass band. So in the brass band you've got two E flats and two B flats, and that allows for basically for you to have a chord in the bass section, which is really nice. Edward Gregson wrote it in Essay when I played that there was just some fourths written in the part, some sort of jazz-like chords that came across from the bass section, and they were really nice. It gives you a different foundation to the band when you're able to do that, and a really nice sort of way of writing it. So we'll have a look. The opening notes, we're in unison with the E flats. So we've got a B flat, they've got a B flat, and this is how our part sounds. So the area that I'm going to have a look at, as I've talked about in the dissertation, we talk about how the faster playing on this instrument is a lot more difficult than the E flat. It doesn't quite, it's not as athletic as what an E flat instrument is. So let's have a listen to this little section. notes of why you employ the B flat bass players, these ones. At 40, accented, dig them out, and that will sound really nice down there. The B flats will be written maybe in the same register, I think they are. They get a little bit easier, and it won't sound out quite as depthy on their instruments. The next phrase is this one at G. So let's have exactly the same look at the exact same feature on an E flat instrument and find out how it's slightly different.